Welcome to Butterflies of Wisdom, everyone. As you know, today's Tuesday. Well, you will hear the birthday episode on Thursday, obviously. But today, Mel is going to do live coaching because what I've decided is not only am I going to be a freelance writer, I am actually going to be an app developer of all things because I had this vision of designing an app for the disabled with clothing in mind. Well, one, I hate to burst any app developers' prices out there, but I will say they're way too expensive, and I know what I want. Mel asked me yesterday, how would your friends and family describe you? I said, I have a bone and a triceratops attitude. So these app developers who are developing apps for the people don't necessarily know what the disabled want because they're not living it. So I thought about it. I'm like, okay, since it's my 30th birthday and there are programs to start coding, why not use them and why not use the University of Google before I go to the University of the Academy of Arts to get my fashion journalism degree. And I just got a call this morning about a possible job offer that I'm working on right now, and it has nothing to do with app development or freelance writing or public speaking. But freelance writing and app development is something I really want to do. This job offer I am possibly considering is public speaking. And yeah, so public speaking is just part of it. Obviously, Mel and I are public speakers when it comes down to it because we have a podcast together. So yes, that I can tell ice to an Eskimo if I'm not careful. So, it's so funny because the person that delivered my walker yesterday said, you kept up with me like there was no tomorrow. I don't think that particular person, because he's used to delivering wheelchairs and walkers and gait trainers and standards that are meant for people that are somewhat non-verbal. So I don't think he was used to two people chattering away to him. But that's the part of public speaking that I particularly like. Now, Mel, I want you to take over and do a deep dive with me.
Well, I'm happy to. This is a terrific opportunity, and thank you for doing this. One of the things I love about our collaboration is that we help each other grow and bring the best out of each other. And I love the fact that you are taking the bull by the horns, so to speak, and taking the initiative to go ahead and develop an app and be your own product first as an app developer because you specifically know what you want. There are services out there that are pretty inflated, but at the same time, I'm not going to dismiss nor risk disrespecting any other professional who deems and feels that their prices are worthy of their time. So all good there, not a problem. I do the same thing too. But nonetheless, you're in a unique position where you are really on a strong wave right now. You're on a strong roll because, with your decision to leave teaching and to become a fashion journalist, you're going to impact a lot of lives out there in the disabled community and non-disabled community because of the perspective you're going to offer. And along with that comes opportunities to become innovative and pioneering in certain things. So here you are. You're going to develop an app. Now, are you going to be successful at it? Is it going to come to fruition? I don't know, but it doesn't matter. What matters is that you come across these opportunities, you decide to yourself, you know what, I can do this, let me try, and what's the worst that could happen? It ends up being either too much or the time that you need to spend on it is limited, and it's best to turn it over to a professional or whatever the case may be. But I love the fact that you're taking action, and action takers always get things done because they set it in motion. So good for you for setting in motion.
Now, if someone wants to all do the beginning part, and if someone wants to put the finishing touches on it, God knows I don't mind, because SEO is not my strong point, aka Google Juice, aka Apple App Store Juice, aka Android, which I have no clue about, is not my strong point. So, if someone wants to help me out with SEO, that is a whole different kettle of fish, but I am going to develop this app myself, and this has been my dream since I was playing Bugdem on the Apple Orange laptop in my mom's exercise class when I was about 7 years old. So developing an app has been my dream, and putting myself in the Apple App Store has been one of my dreams. Now, since I'm going to a school developed for the arts, no pun intended, and for fashion tech, for fashion journalism, I thought, well, why not add to that piece of paper and teach myself how to develop apps, both on Android and iOS. First, I'll do what I know, iOS, because I've been an iOS girl since we had our first computer. Our first computer was a white Macintosh in my dad's office, and I had a Macintosh in my classroom at school. Yes, I had a computer in the classroom, only for me to type on, and my friends knew about it, and the teachers knew about it, and that was my only modification when I was going through elementary school. And so, granted, I've been around Macs for as long as I can remember. Yes, and Siri writes my books. She helps me write my books. So now, why not take the next step into the Mac development world, and why not do something that I love, and why not be a fashion journalist too?
Absolutely. You know, it sounds like the evolution is here. You have evolved,
Yeah.
and you know, since at the age of 7, you were already spending the time on it, and you've had the vision. One thing is for sure, you're definitely a visionary, and you execute, and that's what good leaders do. You know, and they take risks, and they're not afraid to try things. So, I've done many things like that where I do things that I never ever thought I'd explore and delve into, and there are some that, you know, I initiate, and they just, okay, well, this just isn't me. I've come to the point where I need to decide, am I going to spend any more energy on this and drain myself of other things, or is it worth, should I just outsource it, or should I continue? Nonetheless, being a pioneer at something is bold, and it takes risk. And it sounds like, you know, over the years, you've accumulated it all to this point now. So what's next for you? I mean, how does one start developing an app, and what are your plans?
They use a program called Swift, which is on the iPad. I don't believe Swift is on the iPhone. I believe Swift is on the iPad. And so if people were nicely listening to me, I've been hinting. I have wanted an iPad, a big one, since about, I don't know, March, because my dad asked me in March, what do you want for your 30th birthday? At your 30th birthday, I can get you something nice, and let's get this journalism degree knocking the rolling. You need something that you can obviously type on, you can obviously dictate to. So, yeah. So I'm hoping that people have listened to me. We'll see. We'll see on my 30th birthday whether people have nicely listened to me. But to get back to my main point, the first thing I'm going to do is open up the App Store after I set the iPad up and download Swift, which is a coding program. See, you need to learn how to code before you make the apps pretty. So, yeah, and people think, oh, they have to hire an app developer. No, and someone asked me this morning, what are the apps? And then things on. I'm like, a 9-year-old could do it. They had at WWDC, which is Apple's Worldwide Developers Conference in San Jose, California, the week before last. They had a 9-year-old who's been developing apps since he was 6, and he was in Australia, and he flew out to California for the app development conference. So and they also had a 72-year-old who developed her first app. So as Tim Cook said, and I quote Tim Cook, it's not too late to start developing apps. So, of course, when Wynn is sitting at her laptop, which is a Mac, and watching this and watching WWDC Worldwide Developer Conference, I get a bug in my head thinking that if a 90-year-old can do it and a 78-year-old, Wynn could definitely do it. And now, I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, but I'm going to try, and my first app out of the chute, you guys, is going to be something for the disabled.
May I ask, Wynn, what exactly is the app going to do? Let's say I'm part of the demographic. I'm a disabled person with this app. What's it called and what's it going to do for me?
I have thought about this. I actually laid in bed at 4 o'clock this morning and thought about this. So basically what the app is going to do is take the camera functionality on your iPad or iPhone, and say if you're in a store and you take a picture of pants, my app will put a top with those pants. So basically, the person can visualize them wearing that outfit on the phone. Or if they take a picture of a pair of shoes, it will go into the bottoms and it will go into the pair of pants and it will go into the top. And so, yes, so that's what I lay in bed thinking about, you guys. What's this app going to do? And so, because I know personally, I don't like going physically shopping. I like when people do it for me. That's why Amazon is my online weakness and Etsy.com is my online weakness, because I have trouble pairing pants that look good together or pairing tops, because I have a little bit of astigmatism. I don't know if you guys know that, but part of cerebral palsy, you become blind, completely blind, like Juan Carlos is, or completely deaf. Like I have another friend who is hard of hearing. She doesn't have CT, But that's because of the incubators they put these kids in, the amount of oxygen they gave me and all these babies that are being born with Down syndrome and CP. One of the side effects is you can become deaf or blind from too much oxygen.
Wow.
So,
I didn't know that.
and one of the side effects is slight stigmatism, which I still have. So that being said, I have trouble not physically holding up tops and pants and all that good stuff. So I also need glasses to see. So basically, me going shopping, it's a disaster and a half. So I thought about this for the past 2 weeks. I thought, if I'm having trouble going shopping, I am pretty dang sure about 1,000 other people with disabilities or have the same trouble I do. And of course, we can't afford a personal stylist. I wish I could, but I can't afford one. So what's the next best thing? That kids and parents could buy to help their kids look good and
you're really you're doing a huge service here, more than just alleviating the physical need for a stylist, because you're having a ready-made stylist available for an individual at any time. You're saving them money. You're giving them the vision. You're teaching them how to put it together. I mean, there's a myriad of reasons why it's going to be very, very positive. Do you know if there are any other apps out on the market to do that now? Are there any personal stylist apps out on the market now?
I believe there are, and the next time we meet, I will give you more of a general overview after I do my research. But I believe it's more for the general lazy average population. It's not for the disabled population who is colorblind, thank you very much, and who has astigmatism, or what comes to it, they have a mental disability, so they think stripes and plaids go together because they can't figure out that a striped top goes with solid pants. Or they can't speak, like my friend Max Grange, who you guys have heard speak on the podcast. He needs full assist in getting dressed. He has quadriplegic cerebral palsy. So he doesn't get to say, like I do, oh, I want to wear X, Y, and Z. I want to wear this. He just has to rely on other people. So I think it meets a demand for all disabilities. Also, I hope.
Will you break it down? I just had kind of a vision in my mind. Will you break it down to where possible scenarios and occasions, like formal, semi-formal, casual, beachwear?
Yes.
Graduation, dinner party, that kind of thing?
You actually gave me that idea. Because as we were doing, as we are doing Wisdom of Fashion, which, by the way, you guys, Wisdom of Fashion is kind of in hiding right now, kind of not. We're still floating it out on another feed as of August. I just have to get my act together here. And so I'm going back to my original podcast host, Lipson, which I just have to get my act together here. But that's beside the point. Wisdom of Fashion is still going to be up. It's still going to be running. It's just going to be on the separate feed. Right now, it's sharing the feed with butterflies of wisdom, and it's very hard to find. But you now gave me that idea because, as you said, from the pants to the shoes to the suit jacket to the tie, and I'm going to even make a men's app and a women's app completely separate so that the mentally disabled don't pick that up, and I may even make it gay and trans because that's a disability in itself. And so I may even make it gay and trans but my big concern is always for cerebral palsy, because those of us who have trouble walking and those of us who have trouble functioning can't always rely on people driving us to the mall, can't always rely on public transportation.
The host has joined the conference.
Mel,
Hello.
if you can remind me what I was saying, and I'll hit
Absolutely.
record button
Absolutely.
again.
Your last words that I heard were, not everyone can get public transportation?
Yes, not everyone
Okay.
can get public transportation.
Yep, that's
So
where you
here
were.
we go again.
That's where you were. Okay.